think when we moved here, we wanted to just sort of set a bit of a pattern to what we would do. This room, I suppose, being the major room, it was the focal point of our investigation. And it had unfortunately been stripped of all the redwood panelling. The fireplace was non-existent. It was a nasty sort of brick front to it. And so it's really a matter of getting an idea of how the whole thing went together. So I made little holes in the plaster that had been put on the wall and did a series of drawings, scale drawings through all the windows and the walls, the doors, so that I had a total understanding of how this whole thing went together. And the interesting thing that came about from that is that I discovered that the whole house was consistent in its detailing. What was in one room was the same in another. What was with one window was the same with every window. So I suppose crawling around underneath the house, I found lots of pieces of wood. It was, fortunately, they were all scraps from fireplaces and bits of panelling, and they all yielded clues. Up in the roof, the roof's interesting because the windows are counterbalanced with the ropes that go up. They go up via a pulley and then up along the pitch of the roof via another pulley. At the end of the cable, of the rope, is a little metal cage that houses a house brick, and that counterbalances the windows. So you go up in the roof and there's this myriad of bricks hanging down, but where the windows had been, that had been taken out, they'd left the pulleys. So the pulleys were directly above that space between the studs. And because that's what, there's no actual frame, the windows just slide between the studs. And so that, again, has given me the clue exactly where the windows went, the sizes, whether they were a 2-bay window or a 3-bay window. And that led on to me doing the kitchen, which had nasty windows put in, sort of 1950s windows. I've done nearly all the work on the house. Certainly all of the timber work, and that included stripping and restoring the timber, but where it needed replacing, I've done that. Particularly this room that we're sitting in, I had to redo all the panelling. Oh, well, it's 20 years of work. It's just this sitting room took over a year. So it's, yeah, it was fairly exhausting. I basically went through a tech school and learned woodwork and learned lots of things to use my hands. And this is just one of the joys of being here. I don't think I could have had someone else come in and do it. The satisfaction is just so important to say, well, I've done this. It's taken a long time. It could well have been that we paid a lot more for the house than we anticipated, and therefore I couldn't afford to get someone in. But I think all through owning houses, I've always done the work on them. I won't touch the electrical work, I won't touch the plumbing work, but pretty well everything else. It's seeing your ideas come to reality. The built form is really exciting. I think that's the best part of it, right? Because that proves that the creative process has worked.